This is the exact reason why we record our classes. So today is the 5th. It seems like, I don't know, about 4 or 5 of us decided not to show up to school today. And why did I add name tent on the list of things that we're supposed to have out? Because your name tent is becoming ever more important as your Unit 1 test is impending next week. Yes, he said next week. Wait, we just had a quiz. Yeah, you're right. Probably every couple weeks we'll have some kind of assessment. Right? Quizzes will be smaller, and they tend to be open notes, open homework. Mastery assessments are like the end of unit tests that tend to be bigger and are not normally open notes or open tests. However, like we've been talking about, you'll have resources through your whole life. I want you to have resources, so for most chapters, I'll either give you a reference sheet with like important formulas, important stuff to remember, whatever, or I'll tell you got this much space, do whatever you want with it. So for this chapter, you have this much space, do whatever you want with it. So for example, Amir's name tent is folded hot dog style, perfectly like the directions were. However, Amir's name tent kind of bled through to the back. So while Amir could use his name tent for his cheat sheet, now wait, we should go back and talk about why it's cheats in quotations there. Anyone know why cheats is in quotations, Owen?
Because you're not actually cheating.
Yeah, it's just like a nickname, right? We're not actually cheating. So Amir could, since he doesn't want to use his paper that is like all, colored from his name and everything, he could go and decide, do I want it hamburger style or do I want it hot dog style? But you get one side of half of a piece of paper. So if I was you guys, I like this better. So at any point, or you can use the back of your name tent if you really want, but I realize a lot of your markers bled through. So you get half a piece of paper. You can put anything you want on it. Between now and when we take the mastery, which will probably be end of next week, I try to put mastery towards the end of the week, so even if we start the next chapter first, it's fine. Questions? Anything you want. Okay. Let's check homework, which means we shouldn't really have pencils out, because you do your practice work outside of class, and you come here to check it. Questions on combining like terms in 215. This was 215. Again, guys, I'm going to go back here and remind you, what's on the list to get out? It's on the list to get out because you're going to need it. Amir, I have no idea why you would have turned that in since homework doesn't get collected till Fridays. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 of you either owe me all of your homework from last week or some of it. 8 of you either owe me all of your homework or some of it from last week. That's not good. Yeah.
How did you get 3x squared on B?
Might have been a mistake, but give me a second. I'm going to finish this quick highlighting and then I'll look.
Was that 5x?
And you might get a piece of candy out of that.
I never ended up reading
Ah, thank you. There's a positive 8x squared. There's a negative 13x squared. So that takes us to negative 5. Yeah, no, this should be positive 5, shouldn't it? Yeah. This is also why I started tweaking how, so see me after class. Well, let's scribble it out. So you guys like what I'm doing here? This is literally how you could edit your homework. It doesn't matter that we got wrong answers. The thing that is on most of my slides, right, is this little image that I love. Mistakes allow thinking to happen. Like making mistakes is how we figure stuff out. So yeah, 5x squared. Now that's why I keep a big bag full of candy. We just bought 2 more bags of candy this weekend, but that's for trick or treat. We're preparing. Then I'll bring it in afterwards. Other questions or other mistakes of mine that you found? Now it stinks is 3B. Can't find that mistake since we just fixed it here, unless I goof up and clear the ink and then they find it all over again. Any other mistakes that you see of mine? I should start doing this on purpose. Hide mistakes. No, well, last year I didn't skip C. Last year we did it, but this year I'm trying to be less redundant.
It's supposed to be 6y squared.
No, it's not.
Double check signs.
I think so.
Double check signs. That's a negative 2y squared.
Look,
Oh, negative.
The sign in front of it goes with, or it's a minus,
Oh, I
depending on
didn't
how you
know
want to say it.
I didn't know the sign mattered.
Always. So guys, Mr. Hall and I are in two big fights right now. And the fun thing about being an adult is you can be in a fight and still exist and like each other. It doesn't ruin everything in the world. So Mr. Hall and I are in two big fights. One, he says the word easy. I know, potty mouth. His mentality is, come on, math is easy. We got this. We can all do this. Come on, it's easy. I think the opposite. He's just trying to use that to encourage people of, you can do this. But that's when a coach will be like, come on, shooting a free throw is easy. And I'm like, Coach, I can't get the ball in the net. I never played basketball, by the way. But just, making up this story there. And if he's like, it's easy, just put the ball in the net. It's like, no, it's not. You're encouraging me, but it's not easy. So I'm not going to back down on me just making that a bad word. But also, he believes my method of saying subtraction doesn't exist, minus doesn't exist, he thinks that's silly. So if you would like to take the Mr. Hall approach, the Mr. Hall approach is instead of making this plus negative 2y, he just makes sure that you circle terms, and when circling terms, you are circling the sign in front of it, whether it's a plus or a minus. So that's a minus 3, or I call it a negative 3, right? That's a minus 2y squared, or I call it a negative 2. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a difference. As long as you still apply it as a negative or apply it as a minus. Does that help me? There are so many close names. My brain is having a really hard time. I'm going to get it, guys. By the time we go to camp, I know it's a month away, I'm going to know all of our names and how to say them right. Commutative. The root of the word commutative is commute. What are you doing if you're commuting? You're moving. So commutative, moving. Beatrix, if you want to move over with Ella, or Ella, if you want to move with Beatrix, either if you're feeling lonely, or if you guys like your space, it's up to you. But yeah, you're welcome to move. I have to make a seating chart tomorrow. Just by the way, because I am not here Thursday. So the sub needs to be able to tell me Maddie was a giant pain in my butt by looking at the seating chart and being able to say, oh, that was Maddie. Because if the sub just goes, who are you? Maddie might go, my name's Ella. So I got to make a seating chart tomorrow, just by the way. But there's no time today because we're math testing. Guys, this is what your paper could look like. It doesn't need a ton of writing. It doesn't need a ton of explanation. And how many years will both companies have the same profit? 3 years. Now, labels are important, so I know you're not talking about dogs, cats, pizzas. If I trace it over, I don't know, about 6,000, close to... You can say about or approximately or close or things like that. If it isn't perfect, if you don't have every detail. Now, company B is growing faster because their line is steeper. There is one right answer. Company B is growing faster. Guys, if your pencil's moving a whole lot right now, it's pretty easy to tell that you probably didn't do this on your own and you're frantically trying to do it now. Please stop. Please give yourself the opportunity to do the math on your own. Now, if you're frantically moving like a highlighter, I know you're checking your work. There used to be a game where people would just roll a hoop down the street with a stick, and the whole game was to keep the hoop from falling.
It's kind of like a balloon game.
Yes. It's what you are.
Crochet.
Yes, but I use it to draw circles.
Oh wait, some words.
Yes, this was like my grandma's, but I do not crochet.
Oh, it's not crochet, it's not embroidery. So
Right, yeah. We all were saying the same wrong thing together. Yes.
About that hoop game, this is off topic.
You have 10 seconds.
So there's actually a Chinese game similar to that where basically they would take a wad of paper, put a bunch of chicken feathers in it, kick it around, and keep it in the air as long as possible.
Nice.
And
That
they
sounds
have it at
fun.
home.
Sounds like hacky sack.
Oh my goodness.
All right, real quick, 55, and then moving on to 216. If we don't know what to multiply by, divide to figure it out.
Oh my goodness, this one. Well, I mean, I feel like everybody's played where you
10
try to
seconds.
the balloon off the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ground is lava, floor is lava, whatever. Any questions from 215?
I was always looking at the game.
Remember, I'm recording, so this will be on my YouTube by later. So if you want to copy, at least don't do it right in front of my face. Hey, look, I didn't do 58. Do it on your own. 59. It starts to curve If you keep going with some more points, cough, cough. If you kept going with some new points, you'd see the curve gets like flatter and flatter and flatter. This is not a linear function, meaning it's a non-linear function. Hint, it's x times y equals 36. That's what the function would be. You guys don't need to know that yet. I just like to tell you guys more than what you need to know right now. Substitution. Check signs. If you got a wrong answer, it was probably because of signs. Not the creepy movie from the 2000s, but the positive or negative in front of the number. Signs was a movie about aliens coming and leaving crop circles. It's a good classic alien movie. For a hot minute, $4.19 was actually a good price for gas. We got up to like the mid to high fours for a little while. Now we're back down to the threes, fortunately. Any questions on 61? Figuring out what 1 gallon would cost? Or taking that to 1.2, which if I have 1, how do I get to any other number? Multiply by that other number that we want to get to. What we do on bottom, we got to do on top. What we do on top, we got to do on bottom. Bless you. Bless you. So if car A can go 120 miles in 2 hours and car B goes 120 miles in 4 hours, car B might actually be getting a ticket for going too slow. If you did not know that. Now, if they're on different roads, that's fine. But there is a minimum speed on most highways because it's just dangerous. Owen?
How come on B you put the Y phone in first?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, you can go.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, I mean, it's not right, but it's not, like, totally wrong. So, like, say if this was yours, I probably would do this. Like, if this was your paper, right, or your quiz, and I would just do a little reminder of, like, yo, X, Y. You already get to see me after class for candy, so I don't. If you want the real answer, I was probably distracted in an airport. Like, I was probably literally doing this waiting for a plane, because I did these last summer when I was traveling over to Greece. Probably distracted.
I said you lucky ducky.
I know. But this, again, your homework doesn't have to be right. So, like, I wouldn't count this wrong on your paper. You just accidentally goofed, like, it's fine. I wouldn't even tell you had to switch it. Like, you just draw a little arrow as a reminder. Yeah.
You know that thing about the slow limits?
Yes.
So that's actually a problem with older drivers since they're scared to go fast.
Yep.
On a highway.
Gotta go fast. Come on, be like Sonic. Gotta go fast. Alright, any questions on 216? Moving on. You should have 217 out in front of you, whether you got it off the back table or had it from last week. So please get that out, and nothing else really needs to be out. Hey, I bet you noticed, but I've made your bin, I don't know why, but my brain is kind of defaulted to Math 7 being kind of more blue and you guys being more purple, just because I like blue and purple and green, but green always feels like it's like the go color, so I didn't want to make either of you guys green. So if you don't have 217, come get it out of the bin. 8 and 9 are back there also. 8 and 9 are back there also. Guys, we're probably going to do one of your homework problems for class, so please don't try to do your homework right now. What we need also, since this whole thing is your homework, we haven't used it that much yet. Get a piece of graph paper. If you don't have graph paper on your table, which you probably do in your binder, but get a piece of graph paper. Now, on your graph paper, I would like you to copy down part B. I'm going to try to kind of block out A and C. We're going to compare these two expressions in part B. I do not want to say it out loud because that kind of sort of might give things away. So on graph paper, or I mean any other paper. It could be computer paper, it could be lined paper. I just like graph paper better. So on graph paper, we're copying down B. So grab that graph paper, not the homework paper, the graph paper. Yep, we're going to copy down B. I'm even going to copy it down. B. Up here. It's not on your paper, Charlie. It is B from up here. It's not on your homework paper. We are copying this down to the graph paper. Oh, I need to collect the cards. So I want you guys to go ahead and do, for one of them, I would do one at a time, what you think needs done to simplify as far as we can. I would probably do the left one first. Do everything you can to simplify down as far as we can. I hate map testing schedule.
Even when it's math.
Yeah, even when it's math. Beatrix, on the left side, what are you going to do first?
Just like combine, like probably like circle all the
Ooh, if we take the Mr. Hall method, which is okay, if we circle terms, we got to make sure we take the signs in front of them. So, like, I'm not even going to circle 2x squared right now because, you know, what if there is no sign in front of it? What is it? Positive. So you could put a positive in front of it if you want to. Ooh, wait. This has multiple signs in front of it. Will, what are we going to do about that? So, are you passing them?
Yeah.
Okay. Ella, what are we going to do about this?
Wait, can I also pass? Because I'm trying to solve that right now.
Maddie, what are we going to do about this?
Wait. Do you turn it into a positive?
Why?
Because you got the subtraction and subtraction, and then you.
The opposite of a negative, or if we go Mr. Hallway, the opposite of subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition, or the opposite of a negative is positive. So guys, this is really positive 3x. So we really have 2x squared. I'm going to do it my way. Negative 2x, positive 6, and positive 3x. So now, positive 3x and negative 2x. Oh, how many x do we have? Is it 5? How many? 1, because we're going to have 3x minus 2x, right? Or 3x and negative, however you want to say it. So, any other x squareds? I do not think so. We just have 1x, so you don't have to write the 1, but you could. Can I go any farther? No. In the right side, Gus is not here. Charlie, you got an idea of what we should probably take care of first here?
The right side. Alright, so,
Can we start combining terms, or is there something we got to do first? I just need some coffee.
would I be able to pass?
Sure. You're always welcome to pass. I want this room to be a safe space. Amir, what can we do first? Guys, the fact that people are passing tells me I have a job to do, which is good because I like my job. Can I get to this 3 yet? Not really, because it's trapped inside of parentheses. Can I do what is inside the parentheses?
Yes.
No. Not what's inside. Right? Can I take 2x squared away from 3? I can't physically do that. Now, can I do something with the parentheses? Yes. Vivian, what can I do? Because I feel like we were trying to say, like, oh yeah, we can do... Do you know?
Probably like turn the negative into a positive and turn like the signs upside down.
We distribute, you are correct, but I'm going to say it differently. We distribute, let's change that color. We distribute the negative or the opposite. See guys, this is where I can't call this a minus. That feels silly to say we distribute a minus. See, that's not appropriate. We distribute the negative. So what's the opposite of 3? Negative. Okay, so we write that down, guys. Do not skip steps. Trust me, you're only going to set yourself up for trouble if you skip steps. What's the opposite of negative 2x squared? Positive 2x squared. Anything to do with the 5 or the 2x? No, I think I just... What else am I able to do, Alex?
So there's a negative 3 and there's a 5, so that's just positive 2.
Okay. And you want to finish us out? Anything else to combine? You want to go ahead and keep going? Anything else to combine, or do we just bring stuff down?
I absolutely forgot what I was about to say, so...
Probably because there is will.
You just don't do anything else?
Can't combine anything else. Wow, a lot of 2s. Now, if we were to write this the right way, who can tell me which of these should go first? Mick? 2x squared, the higher power. Like Coldplay sings about. Coldplay's still popular. I like Coldplay. Simon?
My mom has Coldplay, and she gave it to me.
And it's a CD. Old technology has not died yet. Who's Coldplay? That's how I know I'm old still. It's okay. Alex?
I had something, but then I forgot.
All right, that's okay because we got to keep moving because I got like 5 minutes left. Guys, we need to practice taking what's on this mat and actually writing it down. So I want you to like leave yourself enough space on the paper, like maybe even draw a squiggly line across your paper and like start a new section. We're going to put like an L and an R to have 2 different areas where we're going to write. And again, I don't have like a lot of great colors to choose from that can write on the darker board. What? I mean, pink kind of shows up. You guys are going to have to tell me if this is like too light to see, but I'm okay with that. It's better for your eyes if the background's dark and we write in light colors, so I try to make that happen. On top up here, what could I do before I start writing? You're not here, you're not here. I've called on you a bunch. Laurel, when we looked at algebra maths last week, what did we always kind of do first to like clean things up?
Take all the things at the bottom and push it to the top.
Well, I'm not going to do that yet. You're right, but there's one thing we can start with. They're like,
You can take away the 2 from the same side.
yeah, like you're nothing, right? Get rid of the zeros. You shouldn't say you're nothing. That's not nice. But get rid of zeros. So that 0 can go. This 0 can go. So actually, I'm going to keep what else we have, even though we could do more. So what I want to ask you guys to write down is negative 2. Negative 2x, which if you want to just write as minus, I'm going to try Mr. Hull's way today. This is just on graph paper.
Oh.
Yeah, this is just on our graph paper. I'm just asking you to write this down. Like, you don't have this visual. I'm just asking you to write this down. And then down here, everything that's in this region. We said this is the what region? It's like the opposite region. So, maybe.
Will you move to the left a little bit?
To the no, because I was about to say that's the right. Well, stage. Okay, stage versus. These look like 3, and that looks like a negative x. So we're going to write it like this, and this is what your guys' paper hopefully has more space than me. Look up here real quick, because I'm about out of time. On your homework, and we're going to keep practicing this tomorrow, because math testing schedule sucks. We have negative 2 up top. We have negative 2x up top. But then, how we write this is the opposite of what looks like 3 and what looks like negative x. So when Laurel told me to slide these up, Now, to slide those up, quote unquote, slide those up, we flip all the tiles, right? And when we flip the tiles, it's the opposite of what it was. So I still have that -2 from the top. I still have that -2x from the top. But when I slid those 3 tiles up, what do they become? -3. When I slide that -x across, what's it become? +x. Yeah, I'm out of time. I gotta respect the fact that you got another class to get to. We'll pick this up pretty much right here tomorrow. Keep that graph paper. Please keep that graph paper. We're gonna keep writing on it tomorrow. We don't want to waste paper. Please keep that. Yeah, 714. Oh, sorry, I didn't get your board filled out. I mean, go ahead and start. Why did I just say 714? 217 is your homework tonight, but we'll see what the rest of the week looks like. Like 217 is probably going to bleed into tomorrow a little bit. Because, I mean, we got to finish the lesson. Yeah, I won't be here Thursday, so we need to make a seating chart tomorrow. Somebody please help me remember, because I'm afraid I'm going to forget. It doesn't work that well. Nice. You just did exactly what I do to Dave. Dave's like, hey, don't let me forget that I put these in the freezer. I'm like, hey, Dave, you put those in the freezer. I know, right? Maybe one of us will remember. All right, have a great day, guys. 10:33.